Hello everyone, Momo-Dog here again. As I said yesterday, I had a cool idea for a video that I wanted to work on, and what it amounts to is basically I want to go over a long set I played against Sephi Black yesterday. We played for like 3 hours in total, like lobby sets pretty much. And to be very frank with you, I had a very tough time dealing with this Dragunov. So what I thought would be useful for both you and me, since I already watched my replays a lot to, gain more matchup knowledge or see where I made some mistakes, I want to do this together with you now. Because while we played the set, I struggled a lot. But then when we found each other in ranked afterwards, after we went over our games, and I asked him for some tips here and there to improve on playing against Dragunov, I definitely saw some change. Like I definitely did well, way better than during the lobby sets while we were playing ranked. So what I want to do with you guys is I want to go over 3 matches where I lost pretty badly to give you a demonstration on what I did wrong and what I was thinking I should be changing to give you an insight on how to adapt. And then I want to show you the matches I want to see what changed exactly and what I did better compared to my losses. So let's get right into it.
Get ready for the next battle. Round 1. Fight.
Starting off, I immediately failed to get my counter confirm on down for 2, which could have already turned the tides of this round because I could have gotten a full heat engage from it and gained some momentum with it. Instead, I got my parry baited because I thought he would try to use his plus frames. I tried to parry. He baited that parry and launched me, which already turned out to be some very hefty momentum shift in his favor in this round already. So what went wrong in this round altogether was straight up, I got my panic move baited and got launched for it. And after that, he pretty much got into heat. And with that heat, he kept his momentum. I tried to steal his momentum, as you could see at the end. I tried pressing after voice tuning 4 in order to keep him at the wall, but instead I got launched by a back 4-3 instead, which is now a 40 frame mid and pretty much interrupts almost anything I do after voice tuning 4 on block. So yeah, what I noticed in this round was that when he's in heat, I should definitely respect him way more, because he will try to keep his offense up, and Devil doesn't have many options to keep someone's offense down while they're in heat.
Round 2. Fight.
So here, there's not really much to say. He guessed right on the mind game, which is either walk Morning Crow 1 or get hit by Morning Crow 2-2, or block Morning Crow 2-2, but then have to take the -8 from Morning Crow 1. He guessed right, I got launched. It's that simple, honestly. Could have gotten away better with punish here. I should have been more ready for this whiff. This was pretty unfortunate. I had the read on him trying to keep up his momentum, tried to parry again, but this time around my parry just straight up whiffs, because moves that have long range and recover at a range will not get hit by Devogen's parry power crush, pretty much. So that's the most unfavorable situation to be in after parrying. He goes into heat, and this round is pretty much over. I don't have much recoverable health, and Dragunov's pressure is so oppressive. I either take a lot of chip damage now and die, or I guess wrong on one mix up and die. This heat smash was pretty badly thrown out. I thought if he gets hit by this, he will die, since I'm in rage. So not really that bad to throw out since the heat smash does hit a lot, but instead I could have played my heat game way better by trying to chip him away until he's enraged, then, you know, try to kill him with one last mix-up, or like my heat smash even from Morning Crow, which is pretty nice to kill when they're in rage. Stayed down on the down back 1+2, which was good. He guessed right. If he stood up there, he would have probably died. Unfortunate timing here. I tried to pressure him in order to kill him slowly, but instead he got the timing right on his headshot and I died. And here I was super impatient at round start. I would not recommend pressing at round start all too much unless you have the read. I had the read on a down 2 at round start here since I did 1-1 from time to time, but instead I got sidewalked and launched. Could have launched this also. He recovers in standing. I need to be way more ready for this, and that's also the main takeaway of this game. Got impatient here. I panicked because my 1-1 got blocked, and I tried to keep him off using his heat. And what I realized here is that, again, I should just let him play his game while he's in heat instead of trying to keep him from doing so. Because again, Devilgen doesn't really have the means to keep you from using your heat. When he's up close to you, Devilgen doesn't have that many options. Or his options don't leave him in a very favorable position to keep his momentum going. Let's put it like that. Unless you land an electric unblock, of course. On to the next match that I lost 3-0. And a short disclaimer, I don't think there's any improving without soloing up your pride and checking the replays where you lost. Trust me, everyone cringes watching their own replays where they lost. But it's a must if you want to improve in the long run.
Round one. Fight.
The reason I whiff punish lows like that with Hell Sweep is because I fear my can will whiff, and by the time I dash in, my can might not connect in time. So sometimes I just opt for the Hell Sweep with punish, which is honestly legitimate if you think about it. But I would still recommend trying to go for the dash up can-cans on slow recovering lows, at least if you have the read on them whiffing, because you will have enough time to whiff punish. Going for some Oki here, which turned out to be pretty nice. But here, I was again way too impatient trying to keep up my momentum. Instead, I should have just blocked after the 4-4-2, ducked his back 4-3 and launched him for it. That's how you keep your momentum up, by playing the defense, not trying to force your offense. Late on the punish, and could have ducked this 1-1. He guessed right on the Morning Crow Oki situation. Like, I didn't even go into Morning Crow, I just straight up got floated from my wall running free. And here I just crumbled to the pressure. He went for back 4-2 because he knew I would try to duck for back 4-3, and that killed me. Guessed wrong here. Guessed wrong again. I'm in the blender. And I didn't break the throw. That round went by very, very quickly. And there's not much to take away from that round, since the only big thing that happened really was that I guessed wrong twice in a row. But do note how he immediately tried to duck my electric that I tried to use for keep out. That's very important to take away from this match, because that way I can start using more mids as keep out, because now I know that he will try to duck in my face to, you know, play around my electrics. And he's using a lot of down to beat my electrics. This will be more important later, because there's nothing to take away here. I guessed wrong on the back turn mix-up situation 3 times in a row. This will be super important later, because there was something that we talked about after this set. It was my idea actually, but I implemented something in the matches I won later that I didn't implement here that made a huge difference. So look forward to that. Again, way too impatient. This time, it's a different stage.
Get ready for the next battle.
What happened on this stage, it was the last 2 matches we played, and it was on a different stage. First match I lost, the second match I won. But the first match for me was more important because I lost 3-0. Which means, again, there should be a lot to take away from this match.
Fight.
What I could have done with this health sweep, I could have tried to crouch dash in between to realign with him, and by the time I aim in his face, he would have probably stopped ducking. Because what Sephi Black likes to do a lot is, time his sidestep ducks well enough to keep you out from mixing him up. So what could have worked here is either an instant voice standing 2 or realigning my health sweep. Doing an instant health sweep like that got me killed. Safe power crush because he absorbed the move. Then I tried to walk the power crush and got tracked. What happened a lot while we were playing the wall game was that I tried to walk his moves, but my timing on the walk was so bad that by the time I started walking, his moves started realigning. So what I also took away from trying to play the wall game against Sephi was that I should either step block more carefully instead of committing to side walks, because side walking leaves you very vulnerable to all moves. That's something I also covered in the guide. Side walking is what you want them to do, because that way they will get hit by everything. And thus, I should either be sidestep blocking or ducking his high homing moves that he also liked using at the wall. Again, keep me out from doing an instant mix-up. This will be important later, because I did change up something on this. And this is what I meant. The high homing at the wall. It whiffed in this case, but still, if I ducked here, I could have gotten a full launch and could have gotten out of the Dragunov blender. The general takeaway is that you want to play the defense very, very correctly against Dragunov, especially when your back is to the wall. And pressing buttons is not necessarily advised, but if you have the timing, go for it, definitely. Because a well-timed electric, while your back is to the wall, can shift the momentum entirely in your favor. I just didn't think of it much here because I was so focused on just trying to get out. Ducked my down back 2 after while sending 4. Could either mix him up with back 4 or down 3 instead. Pressed into the second hit, means I can't hit launch. Punish. As you can see, I managed to keep up my momentum pretty nicely by either punishing or with punishing here. What killed me in the end was a well-timed sidestep right block on the up forward 1, because up forward 1 doesn't track to that side at all. However, I thought that he would try to go to the left to avoid my mix-ups while I am in heat. Instead, he went to the right, beat my up forward 1, and that killed the round for me. And he baited my rage art. I thought he would try to 1-to-1 here at the wall, because after heat burst, he is +1 on block. Which is a great number for Dragunov at the wall, because 1-to-1 will wall split the opponent for trying to press a button that doesn't high crush or, That's why I thought that a rage art would kill him here perfectly, and it's a good button to throw out, but he guessed right on my rage art, baited it out, and killed me for it. So those were the matches I lost. As you can see, there's a lot to take away here. After these matches, I wrote Sephi Black, and we went over what I could have done better against Dragunov, and with Devil Jin especially. And the main takeaways were, I'm not using enough mids in the neutral to keep him from trying to high crush me with down 2, for example. And I'm also not trying to keep him out enough against the slower moves, for example, while running 2 and down back 3+4. Another thing that I needed to change up immediately was my mix-up timings. because my mix-up times were way too obvious. So I needed to either delay them or, throw them out in different positions so they finally connect. Because in these matches, my mix-ups didn't connect at all. And Devilgen kind of lives and dies off mix-ups. So it's time to watch matches where I actually made some change.
Get ready for the next battle.
Note how one of the key moves we talked about that I should be using more was back 4. Back 4 is super important to use against, for example, his down 2 pressure, because that will actually beat his down 2, give me a full counter launch, and I can finally throw out electrics again because he will be more scared to press out down 2s.
Fight.
Back 4 here as a check is not necessarily a good button, is what I immediately realized. It's better in the neutral, but trying to use it after +4 just leaves you vulnerable to getting sidestepped. Here I would still recommend just going for 1-1 or down 4-4 to check. Back 4 is not necessarily a good button to check. Got a good read on a sidewalk, but dropped the combo. Tried to back 4 again, but got out-timed. But that's fine. I'm trying to get a feel for the move. This is the first match where I tried to implement it. Interrupted the heat smash, which was very good, because otherwise I would have gotten hit. Chip damage, and killed him. This was pretty good altogether, because I still managed to shift the momentum in my favor even after getting counter hit like twice. Had the read on his Dowmac 3+4, ducked and launched it, which was good, because this will demotivate him from using the low. That way I can focus more on trying to walk his standing mids instead of trying to guess for Dowmac 3+4 all the time. Down 3 is a great check because it's actually homing in this situation. Caught him ducking with the heat smash. And managed to end the round very cleanly. Again, this is a very bad mix-up timing of me. His immediate sidestep ducks beat my mix-up timings. And that's the exact thing that I had to change. Dropped the combo on back 4, which was unfortunate. Tried to gain my momentum back with Beat Burst. But he guessed right in the Dowmac 1+2 situation, and that's the round pretty much. So what killed the round for me, again, was a mistake that I already made in the older matches where I lost. Which, I immediately realized, okay, I need to change this ASAP. Dash back 4 to track his sidewalk. And I could have ducked this 4-1. It no longer jails in Tekken 8. Could have ducked and launched him for it. Great delay on the back 4 2-1-2, which made him get hit. Trying to keep my momentum up with Heat Burst. I'm in heat, so he has to be scared theoretically. But he's trying to pressure me down. This back 4-3 was super important to duck. I was patient enough this time around, which was also something I changed. I tried blocking for longer times now, because I knew he would overcommit eventually. But I didn't duck the back 4-3, which could have won me the entire round. Threw out the heat smash because my heat meter was about to run out, so it's the only option I really had. Either it connects or it doesn't, but I'm still in a favorable position. Clipped him with the back 4 2-1, didn't overcommit with a huge mix-up, and killed him with it. So now it's time to move on to the next match. As you can see though, I tried using way more mids in neutral to keep him from down 2 checking me. And trying to keep him from pressuring me as much in the neutral. Which already helped a ton, because that way I can, build up some momentum myself instead of trying to guess the whole time against Dragunov. Blocked this down 2. Back 4 after realigning. This was unfortunate, but that's fine. Round is nowhere near over. Needed to duck this back 4-3. Again, this is super important. Finished the 1-1 because I saw him ducking. Broke the throw, fortunately. Didn't kill me for going for the panic button. And this was just super bad. I got a misinput on 4-4-2. which netted me 4-2, and then I panicked and went for the 10 string. Composure is super important in Tekken. Stay calm no matter what happens. Managed to sidewalk his down 2, didn't get a whiff punish though. What I could have used here as a whiff punish instead of 1-2-3 was down 4-3-2-4. Trying to keep him from build up momentum. Mash him out of the throw. And now he's at the wall. So I'm free to do whatever. Just off on one wall split, I managed to kill him. That's just Devil Jin in a nutshell. If their back is to the wall, you are automatically winning. You do not even have to press buttons. You have great whiff punishes at the wall to also win just by playing the defense. But in this case, I managed to interrupt him with back 1-2, got a wall split, and won the round. Even more dash back 4, because this move, when I dash into him, realigns pretty well, and it becomes much harder for him to sidewalk. Same goes for 4-4-2, obviously, but with back 4, I also have the bonus of getting a countered launch, which happened here. Finished the down back 1+ too early because I knew he would try to interrupt this time around instead of waiting for me to do the guard break and trying to sidewalk. Got the round in the back with the heat smash. He tried to parry.
Round 4. Fight.
Also, this mix-up was way less obvious than the ones I had, like the ones he stabbed before. He didn't expect me going for a mix-up after his down 2 on block, because he knew I would try to challenge him for standing 4 a lot, and thus he tried to either sidewalk that, or he tried to just block it and take his plus frames. So I just went for a mix-up here instead, because I knew that he wouldn't expect it. And this is a way better placement of my mix-up than anything I did in the matches prior, where I got sidewalked and launched. Interrupted my third mix-up, perfectly fine, I still have the life lead. With punish, unfortunately didn't kill, but I'm still in a favorable position. Managed to end the round, and what I implemented here that I didn't in the matches where I lost, I implemented way more mids in the neutral, especially back 4, which is a godsend in this game because it's still a safe mid counter hit launching, you know, not a power mid, but still a great mid to throw out. And especially with realigning, it becomes very annoying for him to deal with. And once he starts trying to sidewalk it with proper timing, I can just go back to back 4 to wanting to lock him down and then go for my mix-ups again. Final match for the day, Rebel Hanger.
For the next battle.
So far, I've been doing pretty well with implementing what I didn't implement in the first few matches. And I've been having great success with it. Just a few words of advice and just a few words with your sparring partner can go a long way, because you know your partner will see what you're doing wrong, and you might also have some ideas what you're doing wrong. So if you fuse those ideas together, you get some very neat advice that you can use to improve with. The set I played with Sephi in the lobbies and these ranked matches were only like 10 minutes apart, and in between those matches, I rolled with him and gave him some ideas that what I could do better, and he agreed with me and gave me some extra tips. And I immediately tried implementing them, and I immediately had success with it, which is, you know, great to see. Could have whiff punished this way better. At least stuck the was standing 1-2 though, launched it, and now the entire round is in my favor. Didn't break the throw, unfortunately. This back 4 is guaranteed. Throwing out the heat smash because my heat bar was about to run up. I'm still in a favorable position. Tracked him with down back 1+2. And won the round off the knockdown situation.
Round 2. Fight.
This was a very Hail Mary sidestep too, but I knew, since I hell sweep in the last few matches after this down 2, I knew he would try to either sidestep duck or try to interrupt me in another way. with a linear move, for example. So I had the hard read here that he would try to beat my old options, so I went for a very new option here instead. And that's my biggest strength, honestly. It's hard reading what my opponent's next option will be to beat my option. I want to keep my heat after the wall carry, so I went for the whiffed heat burst here. And this way I could carry him to the wall. Right immediately after I broke the balcony, he's back at the wall, so I'm still in a favorable position, even if my heat bar is gone. Tried to track his sidewalk with 1+2. Managed to walk up while running 2. Sadly dropped the combo, but that's fine. I'm still in a favorable position. We've punished this down 4-2 that he tried to use from keeping me mashing, because I mashed into the first back 4 hit. Bar running 3 because I knew he wouldn't try to take his +1 from heat burst.
Fight.
Pressed into the down 2 because I knew he would try to sidewalk after. This was a up 1+2 misinput. Heat burst to keep my momentum up. Keeping him at the wall with 1-1. The heat smash may have whiffed, but that's fine. Managed to stay composed and just block this voice swing 2 instead and punish him for it. So again, the main things that changed was that I changed up my options of mixing, trying to mix him up, because that's what got me killed mainly. Immediate mix-up timings that, you know, he had a read on and just sidestep ducked. So instead, I changed my mix-up placements to less obvious positions. For example, either at the wall or after his down 2, or, you know, similar. And not just trying to run in and mix him up after a block move, for example. So that way, I managed to finally hit him with my health sweeps, which was pretty important to win my rounds, because Devil Jin lives and dies of mix-ups, you know. And another thing, keeping him in check more with my mids, Devil Jin has very strong mids, also made him fear trying to check me with down 2 more. So I had way more room to breathe in the neutral against him. And also a nice sidewalk read on War Running 2 here and there also got me very far. So again, playing sets with your sparring partner, going over your matches, and trying to implement something that you didn't do well on is super important to improve in the long run. And you can't really improve without checking your own replays either. You have to check your losses. And you heard me say a lot, okay, I could have ducked back for free here, I could have punched this better, I could have ducked 1-1. All of that is super important, because in the future, should you actually try to implement what you point out here? For example, if I duck the next back for free that I see while playing against Sephi, I will get a full launch instead of nothing, which, you know, makes a huge difference. Always try to keep in mind that even if you lose, like if you manage to implement the things that you were doing wrong, like differently, and do everything right the next time, you can always, like, it doesn't matter if you lost as long as you learn from your losses. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't be afraid of losing, because you will lose a lot, especially in the beginning. I lost not very badly, but still, he had the winning score in the lobby sets, and then when we met in ranked right after the lobby sets, where I got my advice and went over the matches with him, I had the winning score all of a sudden. And it was pretty nice to see that I immediately had some positive change right after losing. Anyway, those were kind of my thoughts while playing Devil Jin. It may not have been all too detailed, but I wanted to give a very, very rough overview on what my thoughts are about playing. I hope it helped you. And yeah, Momo out. Peace.